Thanks for joining us at noon. I'm Sam Shocker. The day is here. We got some cooler temperatures. In fact, we will barely hit around 80 degrees today. We should have rain falling at some point today, too, depending on where you live. And of course, we all know we needed this. It's already pretty darn cloudy out there, as you can see. So let's turn now to Chris Bianchi with our 9 News Weather Impact team for what we can expect today. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Sam. Yeah, it is going to be stormy this afternoon and this evening. Going to get you some details on what to expect if you're going to Zach Bryan or to Mount Joy tonight out at Red Rocks. Start things off right now, though. It's cloudy, it's cool, and it's muggy out there, isn't it? It is that, for Colorado standards, it is certainly feeling a bit stormy already. Now, today there is a level 1 risk for severe weather, including Denver and the Eastern Plains. Hail, damaging winds, a possibility. That is not my main concern today, though. My main concern is this. It's flooding, especially just east of Denver. Ground here is waterlogged from storms last night. 1 to 2 inches of rain could lead to localized flash flooding. And by the way, there is a risk for some flash flooding in Denver tonight as well. The risk is a bit higher just east of town, though. Starting to see those shower storms really pop on up on the western slope. And Denver might notice that little cluster of storms out by Vail. That is what's going to eventually move into the metro area within the next 2 to 3 hours. So these storms are going to be pretty early. This is 12:30. This is a half hour, an hour from now, where those some models here indicating some of these storms moving in Denver, maybe a little bit later than that primary storm window, 1 to 6 p.m., but we're going to keep a 30 to 40% chance for storms after dark tonight. So this is 10:30 for those shows tonight. My advice, bring the rain gear with you and have those tailgates inside. Try and be inside as much as possible until that show starts. I'm going to have more details on the rest of that 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. It may be a little harder to beat a photo radar ticket in Aurora. The city has stopped photographing drivers, making it harder to say it wasn't me. As Spencer Soysher explains, the liability for a ticket automatically goes to the car's registered owner.
Getting a ticket can ruin your day. But at least when you get a photo radar ticket, there's the potential for a new pic for your dating profile. I think I look good in this one taken on my way to my second day at 9 News. Kept it. But in Aurora, they've taken away the privilege of looking good in a candid because they won't take your photo at all anymore.
With the changes in state law, that is actually no longer required, actually no longer allowed.
Aurora City Manager Jason Batchelor is not entirely correct. Nowhere in Colorado's updated state law on photo radar systems does it say that photos of the driver are no longer allowed. But changes to the law that take effect today makes the photos less important for police.
There was a defense that could be made that I was not the driver. The person in the picture is not me.
A change strikes out the part of the law that allowed people to say, "wasn't me driving," to get out of a ticket. And now says the only way out of a ticket is if the car is sold, leased, or reported stolen, or the registered owner was dead at the time of the ticket. It's the registered owner of the motor vehicle detected responsible for paying the civil penalty.
What the new statute did from the legislature said, hey, we don't care who the operator is. This is about who the registered owner is.
A lobbyist who helped write the bill, Hazel Gibson, told us vendors and a group that lobbies on behalf of cities pushed for that clause, though she said she's not exactly certain why. And with the change, Aurora thinks it's got no reason to take your picture anymore.
But the change in law removes that as an affirmative defense. It's to the registered owner.
Denver's transportation department has cut down the number of lanes on a 1-mile stretch of Alameda. So for a short period, the 12-block section of Alameda from Pennsylvania to Franklin will be a little slimmer, if you will. The department is trying to make the road safer and has gone back and forth between plans that they've created. The original plan had received some negative feedback, but then when they changed that, they got even more backlash from people who like the original plan. So the city's trying out the original plan for now. It says it will track traffic patterns, study the impact on the neighborhood and businesses, and then gather feedback. A new NTSB report shows the amount of water a firefighting plane had on board played a part in its crash in southwest Colorado. Nicholas Dale died July 12th when the helicopter he was piloting went down in Silverjack Reservoir. At the time, he was gathering water for a drop on the Gold Mountain fire near Ouray. The preliminary report shows that in his previous 5 trips, the helicopter picked up at about 3,000 pounds of water. But the report says before the crash, there were 4,000 to 7,000 pounds of water in the bucket.
The aircraft not only turned to the right, but rolled to the right into this descending unusual attitude before it struck the water. And given the fact that the bucket itself, the weight, because they do have a system on there to calculate the weight of the water bucket, that it went from, the previous flights about 3,000 pounds. All of a sudden now it was 4,000 to 7,000 pounds rapidly, which would suggest that there was an overfill situation.
Dale is among 5 people who have lost their lives trying to protect our state from fires this summer. At the end of June, 5 firefighters got caught in a burnover incident while fighting the Snyder fire near the Utah border. 4 of them died. The 5th person who was hurt is still recovering. A teen has serious injuries today after falling down the side of a cedar mountain in Moffat County yesterday. It took a bit for rescuers to get to him. They had to use ropes, but they got him and took him to a hospital in Craig. A man is headed to prison after pleading guilty to killing a woman, but she was his 4th murder victim, and all the crimes happened while he was on parole. Ricky Roybal Smith admitted to killing Meg Eberhardt in June of 2022 near the Inglewood Civic Center. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison for this crime. Last year, the 39-year-old was also accused of killing 2 strangers on Colfax within hours of each other, and then his cellmate in the Denver jail. He has already pleaded guilty to all 3 of those deaths. Our 9 News investigative team has documented how the Department of Corrections incorrectly scored his risk level, which meant less monitoring. Roybal Smith was not charged with the 2022 murder until after our reporting highlighted the case.